Revved-up climate change now permeates Americans' daily lives with harm that is already far-reaching and worsening across every region of the United States, a massive new government report says. The National Climate Assessment, which comes out every 4 to 5 years, was released Tuesday with details that bring climate change's impacts down to a local level. Overall, it paints a picture of a country warming about 60% faster than the world as a whole, one that regularly gets smacked with costly weather disasters and faces even bigger problems in the future. Since 1970, the lower 48 states have warmed by 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and Alaska has heated up by 4.2 degrees compared to the global average of 1.7 degrees, the report said. But what people really feel is not the averages, but when weather is extreme. With heat waves, drought, wildfire, and heavy downpours, we are seeing an acceleration of the impacts of climate change in the United States, said study co-author Zeke Hausfather of the tech company Stripe and Berkeley Earth. And that's not healthy. Climate change is harming physical, mental, spiritual, and community health and well-being through the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme events, increasing cases of infectious and vector-borne diseases, and declines in food and water quality and security, the report said. Compared to earlier national assessments, this year's uses far stronger language and, unequivocally, blames the burning of coal, oil, and gas for climate change. The 37-chapter assessment includes an interactive atlas that zooms down to the county level. It finds that climate change is affecting people's security, health, and livelihoods in every corner of the country in different ways, with minority and Native American communities often disproportionately at risk. In Alaska, which is warming 2 to 3 times faster than the global average, reduced snowpack, shrinking glaciers, thawing permafrost, acidifying oceans, and disappearing sea ice have affected everything from the state's growing season to hunting and fishing, with projections raising questions about whether some indigenous communities should be relocated. The Southwest is experiencing more drought and extreme heat, including 31 consecutive days this summer when Phoenix's daily high temperatures reached or exceeded 110 degrees, reducing water supplies. In the Northwest, hotter days and nights that don't cool down much have resulted in drier streams and less snowpack, leading to increased risk of drought and wildfires. The climate disturbance has also brought damaging extreme rain. Climate change is finally moving from an abstract future issue to a present, concrete, relevant issue. It's happening right now. Climate change doesn't just happen, it leaves a mark. The consequences of climate change are severe, far-reaching, and they are taking a toll on our planet as we speak. Rising sea levels are no longer a distant threat, they are a reality for many coastal communities with homes, livelihoods, and entire cultures at risk of being washed away. The increase in temperatures isn't just making summers hotter, it's causing more frequent and severe heat waves, turning fertile lands into drought-ridden areas, disrupting our food production, and putting a strain on our water resources. But the impacts of climate change aren't limited to us humans. Wildlife is also feeling the heat. Many species are struggling to adapt to changing environments, and some are even teetering on the brink of extinction. The time to act is now. If we don't, these consequences will continue to escalate, creating a world that is vastly different from the one we know today. We must do everything in our power to mitigate the effects of climate change, not just for us, but for the countless species we share this planet with. Let's not be the generation that stood by while the world changed irreversibly. Voiceover. Despite the grim outlook, there is still hope. We have the tools and the knowledge to fight back against the dire consequences of climate change. Renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydro are becoming more prevalent. These technologies are not only cleaner and more sustainable, but they are also becoming more affordable, making them a viable alternative to fossil fuels. On a broader scale, many countries are stepping up, committing to reduce their carbon emissions in a bid to slow down the rate of global warming. Governments around the world are implementing policies to promote green energy, reduce waste, and encourage sustainable practices. But it's not just about what governments and big corporations can do. Each one of us can make a difference. By making sustainable choices in our daily lives like reducing our energy consumption, recycling, or choosing public transportation over personal cars, we can help in the fight against climate change. The battle is far from over, but together, we can fight climate change and create a sustainable future for all. It's not just about saving the planet, it's about preserving our home for future generations. Let's be the generation that made a difference.